Welcome back, everybody, for our last part of this video or this series as we move on to February. And I got some cool things cooked up for February also. But we're going to be talking about the last part of all the general fundamentals of playing the jungle. So we're going to be talking about the late game jungle fundamentals. Should be a quick video. Late game is probably one of the shortest parts in the game, depending on your elo bracket and where you're at, and even if you get to late game. So there's not much to talk about. A lot of this stuff is added on from the mid game, but it's still decent and good topic to talk about. So the things we're going to talk about are your team's pressure points that you can do, whether to engage or not to engage fights, syncing up with your team at key times, and objective securing because you are the jungler with Smite. So, again, if you guys don't know me, I am Coach Chris, CEO Chris, however you want to call me. I am the owner of All-in-One Gaming Generation, and I'm here to make esports available for everybody and turning just the average players into great players and the great players into pro players. So, I hope I can do that for you today, give you a little bit extra knowledge and push you towards your goals. And if you are interested, we do coaching and we have run tournaments and leagues, and you can come join us on the Discord or come join us on the website, allinonegg.com. So without further ado, we'll get into the first part of pressure points. Alright guys, quickly before we get into pressure points, I just want to talk about exactly when is late game, what is late game, basic things. So late game is 30 minutes to 40 minutes past that time in a game. And this is at the point where everybody pretty much has their core build and they are trying to close out a game and they are at the strongest point that they are going to be. So, your objective as a jungler is to kind of be more like a laner, pushing in lanes, securing objectives, and denying farm as much as you can from the enemy team. So, let's talk about pressure points. In the background, we have a gameplay where we are applying pressure and defending pressure on all sides of the map. So, primary thing that you want to be thinking about when you're applying pressure is playing safe when you are alone and being very cautious in all of your plays, because at this point in the game, a pick can cost you the game or win you the game. So, a lot of this comes down to watching the map. Where's your teammate going? As you see, Malphite was walking mid, and he decided after they started applying pressure to our waves, he moved top with us to help us. And that in turn allowed the Fed Syndra on the other team to have to respond, and you're just playing this game of pretty much like cat and mouse of, okay, we're pushing here, who are you sending to stop us? If you send the wrong person, we're going to kill them. If you send the right person, you're going to kill us. And you just always have to be assessing the situation of, can I push? If I can't, I need a group. And just rinse and repeating until towers fall. And with Baron, this makes it easier because you can just sit behind the turrets and allow the big minions to destroy everything. So, that is essentially pressure points. Everything you really have to learn and need about it. So, we're going to move on to the next topic. Alright guys, so we're going to talk about to engage or not to engage. I want you guys to take a look at this little segment here of just a push up mid lane, trying to apply some pressure, and the result of it. And this is going to go into how active you need to be thinking during these times in a game. A lot of the people that I have coached and gave advice to, this was a strong thing that I have seen after that 30-minute plus. They start losing their mental fortitude and thinking throughout the game and not calculating damage thresholds and cooldowns and abilities and their overall how their champion kind of works in team fights sometimes, because they just want to go, push, and that was an example of me wanting to go, push, and it can cost you big in many games. So, to engage in fights, you need to know your damage, you need to know your team's damage, you need to know your team's follow-ups, and you need to know if you feel confident enough, and if you know that you have the abilities and resources to make a pick or to kill the whole team and win the fight. Because that is the whole point of this, is to win a fight or lose a fight. Get an objective or end the game. Simple. Same thing goes for not engaging. You need to know the same things for the enemy team's damage. Same thing for what their engaged tools is. Do they have flash? Do they have barrier? Do they have like any other summoner spells that can hinder you from killing them? And big thing, Zhonya's and Guardian Angel. These are big things you have to be worrying about and be thinking about actively, because if you go in as Diana, full one-shot combo into somebody that just has Zhonya's, you lost the fight 9 times out of 10. So, big thing is actively thinking about your team fights. You have been doing it all throughout the game. You need to keep your thinking and mental fortitude stacked so you can win the game. So that is pretty much engaging and disengaging. And we're going to move on to our last 2 topics. Alright guys, to close out the video here, we're going to be talking about, very quickly, syncing up with your team and securing objectives as the jungler in the late game. Gameplay in the background, miscellaneous, just eye candy for you. But syncing up with your team, a lot of this comes down to understanding when your team wants to back, when your team wants to pressure because they have another item advantage and things of that nature, and knowing where your team wants to push because of wave states. Like if you have a wave pushing into their tier 2 and you have an eager Trundle that just wants to push, you need to be there to shadow and you need to sync up with them. And once somebody comes to clear that wave, because usually most champions in a game, especially in the mid lane mages, they have a wave clear that just one-shots every single wave that you put up there. So, knowing when to push that wave up and see an enemy champion and know their wave clear, it can give you a better gauge and save you some time to link back up with your team, either in mid lane, in the jungle, secured jungle camps, or another lane such as top lane, and give you a numbers advantage because somebody has to clear that wave that you just pushed with your Fettle, little Trundle, or whatever other teammate that you have on your team. So syncing up with your team is as simple as, I'm going to do something, aka push a wave, steal a camp, and after I have nothing else to do, or my team wants to do something else for the greater good of the game, I will be there with them to win the fight, or tell them to call off the fight so we can reposition and set up vision so we can make a pick, or overall win a team fight for the next drag or Baron. So that's syncing up with your team, playing with your team. It's a team game, so please sync up with all that. And lastly, objective securing. Really with this is, I tell everybody to look for a pick when you are going for objectives, especially the Baron at this time. A Baron flip is crucial and detrimental to the game, as we all know the pain of getting your Baron stole. In this gameplay, I do have my Baron stolen once in this game, and it was pain. So, when you're securing objectives, ideally, I like to ping my team to push off the enemy team and push off the enemy junglers from behind the pit or around the pit to give you the least amount of chance to 50 a smite, because I don't like the odds. And if I can increase the odds in my favor, I want to do it as much as I can. So either that's pinging my team or telling my team in chat to please zone the enemy jungler, because without the enemy jungler, there is absolutely, I would say, like a 90% chance that you should always get the objective. There are those sometimes where you smite at 1201 and there's 1 health left and somebody autos the Baron on the enemy team and they just get it. It happens. But knowing your smite combos, such as if you're playing like Nunu, chomp into smite, it's going to be very hard for anybody else on the other team to secure those objectives and do a game-winning fight or a game-winning swing to win the game. So, knowing your champion, knowing your smites, zoning and or just destroying and killing the enemy jungler before you go to the objectives, and or another thing that commonly happens, as you guys probably see in your games, is if you see the enemy jungler at bot side and the Baron is up, you know, if you do that Baron and you have the damage to burst it down before they even come, just do it. It's 100% in your favor. You need to make those plays and just go full force. But yeah, that is objective securing and syncing up with your team. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is the last part of our fundamentals. We'll have more fundamental videos as we go further. We'll see what I want to do in February. Hopefully that is interesting and you guys enjoy that one too. But again, come join us in Discord. We have a whole bunch of tournaments and leagues happening this February. And if you are watching this at a later date, please come check out the website to see what we're doing. So, hope you guys enjoy. Have a great day, great night, and go hop in a rift and be better, because we want you to be better. Adios. See you in the next one.